Hi there, this is Zura. As an international master in chess, the most frequent question I get asked is, how do you get better at chess? I decided to start recording these videos with the intention to answer that very question and help you along the way. Let's get it. In order to understand the process better in context, let's break down rating levels. First, you may ask, what is rating? Right? The rating is system used to estimate players' strength, and it is basically calculated by performance against other players. Right? Starts from 0 and goes to higher 2800s. Okay, the highest ever recorded rating was by Magnus Carlsen, 2889, I believe, the live rating. All right, so being in the chess world for over 2 decades now, I'm going to share my observations of the timeline of a player's chess career in relation with rating. All right? So, stage number 1 that we have is from 0 to 600. Okay? This is when player learn how pieces move and how games are won. Okay? How are chess games won? By checkmate, right? So player learns how to checkmate basically with king and queen versus king, king and rook versus king. You may sometimes stalemate, but you get an idea how to win the game by checkmating the opponent, all right? And you know how to execute it. Now, stage number 2 is from 600 to 1000. Okay, this is when you learn how to calculate. You can do more than one move calculation, which basically means you ask yourself a question: what is my opponent going to do? What does my opponent want? You start looking at your opponent's moves. All right, that's a calculation process. Also, within comes the reducing the amount of blunders. I believe this is very important. Somewhere after 600, you start to realize, okay, material actually matters. You can't just give up knights, bishops, and pawns on the first moves. So you start to value your army more. All right. Now, stage number 3, I would say this is somewhere around 1000 to 1400s. And this is probably the first actual work you need to learn openings and associated plans with them. All right, them means those openings. Okay, especially second part of it, associated plans with them. This is a very important part of it. How middle game is kind of ties into an opening and what are those ideas. Okay, this is on every level. This goes to depth. I think the difference is in depth, but this is where you start it. Okay, on your stage number 3. This is where I'll be probably producing most of my content, at least from the beginning, because above 1400, I think is the stage when in someone else's life when they need to decide whether to pursue chess as a career or more than just a hobby, and dedicate more time onto it. The reason I'm saying this is I'm just gonna say that 1400 to 700 is where you start to understand strategical elements of the game, importance of strategy in general in the game. But going farther with just a pure talent is very hard to imagine if you do not spend time on it. All right, surprise, surprise. I will not be talking too much about first 2 parts of the game, because I think that is something you can learn by yourself. And what I mean by that is with conscious effort, very important first part, and the use of the technology nowadays. I believe you can get a lot of knowledge, a lot of information, a lot of apps around to get better. All right. Past stage 2, I think, is where expert guidance can be most helpful. So that's why I decided basically to target that audience first. All right. All right, I think I covered everything for the introduction, other than strictly improvement purposes. I'm just happy to have the opportunity to share my passion towards the game of chess with you. Cheers.